to the power of you controlling your breathing right now, in this moment. Here, in the present, the greatest gift you have, that we have. That power, that determination that's in you and everyone. It's the same power we use to control our minds, one thought at a time, one breath at a time. Here we are, another beautiful day in the gym of life. Life, the greatest teacher of all. And you get to learn from it every single day, every single moment. No matter how young you are, how old you are, no matter what you look like, how different you are, we are one. We are the same in one fundamental way. One truthful way. We were born to win, to be happy, to be as we were born. So let's see ourselves today. Determination, let's see ourselves determining to do our best on whatever exercises, stretches we do, the way we move our bodies today in this moment we have together. Do it to the best of our ability by simply being.
Tu casa me invitó, de repente me jaló, para el cuarto me llevó, ey. De lo que hicimos no me acuerdo, y pa' hacerme loco sé que soy experto. Me tienes soñando despierto, volando sin aeropuerto, y por cosas de la vida terminé echando bebidas en tu cuerpo. Nena, seguro que al llegar fuiste la primera, en la cama siempre tú te exageras. Si te quieres ir, pues nos vamos cuando quieras, girl. Nena, seguro que al llegar fuiste la primera. En la cama siempre tú te exageras. Ey. Yo pedí un trago y ella la botella. Abusa siempre que estoy con ella. Oh yeah. Hazle caso si no te estrellas. Qué problema es culpa de ella. Sky, yeah. Estamos rompiendo, muchachos. Y seguimos rompiendo. Global. Perreando. Chipábame. Let go, let go. Pero se aprendió la canción a la perfección. Por mi patria, por mi nación, ninguna discriminación. Aquí no hay raza ni religión, bailalo por obligación. Qué calor, qué calor, qué calor. En la discoteca, qué calor.
la playa bañado en sudor. Los bikinis te quedan mejor. Tú eres mi amor, mol, mol, mol. Cada vez que veo ese booty yo me quedo loco. Tú le das trabajo, mami, con mucho saoco. Como tú lo mueves en el mundo, lo mueves poco. Dale, dale, baila lo loco. Como tú lo mueves en el mundo, lo mueves poco. Dale, dale, baila lo loco. Como tú lo mueves en el mundo, lo mueves poco.
Calentamiento global, anda suelto el animal, mano arriba el que es real. Esto se va a hacer. Qué calor, en la discoteca, qué calor. Yeca, para la muñeca, por favor. En la discoteca, qué calor. Yeca, para la muñeca, por favor. Qué calor.
Good morning, guys. You know, one of the things that has become really apparent to me when I talk to friends and people and tell them what I'm doing, I'm writing my book, I'm on this path of infinite mind wealth, and I want to try to be on it for myself and help others for the rest of my life and live in service of that. The first thing and the thing that I hear most often people say is it's hard. It's hard. That's what I hear all the time. But I never hear them say it's impossible, because deep down inside, we know it is possible. And so here's the thing I've learned, and I hope this saves you more time than I've put into this, because I've been studying personal growth and development for years, trying to work on controlling my mind. And I'm still on that path each and every day, and I want to openly share it with you. The one thing that made all the difference and is still making all the difference for me is you have to believe that you're worth it. You are worth it. Your true worth is your mind wealth, your freedom and happiness. Have a great day, everybody.
I am thrilled to be here. We're talking about focus and discipline, and I'm so happy that there are so many self-development junkies in here like me. This is something that I've loved to do for many years, but I made a very common mistake, and I see it happening a lot. For a very long time, I thought that I could put enough pressure on myself and have enough anxiety that it would lead me to being more focused and productive. For a long time, I was trying to hate myself happy, criticize myself thin, shame myself wealthy. I looked at my critical voice and self-talk, and I felt kind of proud of it, to be honest. I thought, you know, if I can just be hard on myself, then I can kick my butt into gear and finally get that focus that I want. And this is the tricky thing about stress and pressure, is that it actually works for a very short time. If we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, we're feeling a lot of stress, we'll have that buildup of pressure and we'll take action. And for a short time, we're gonna stay focused, right? We're gonna get it done. But then what happens? We find ourselves sabotaging ourselves. We sabotage our own success. We get exhausted. We get distracted because our action is being fueled by pain and not by purpose and desire. And so I was doing this over and over again, this cycle. Be hard on myself, be critical, push myself forward, take action, be a little focused, self-sabotage. Einstein says that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I had to be honest with myself and realize that my strategy was insane. And it's really hard to wake up to this because, like I mentioned, it does work for short bursts. But if we're looking for long-term focus, for long-term momentum, we need to take a different approach. And to do that, it's important to look at some of the blocks around focus and discipline. And that is what we're going to be doing here. So one of the biggest blocks, block number one, is self-sabotage through procrastination. And this is what I see happening all of the time. And some of us think like, oh, this is just a character default, but none of you were born and no doctor ever said, congratulations, you have a procrastinator. It's not something that we're born with. It's not who we are. It is a symptom of something else. Procrastination and self-sabotage are misguided self-love. You're putting so much pressure on yourself to focus and to get things done that after a while you feel depleted and you feel burnt out. And suddenly that self-sabotage is a way to experience a sort of self-love. It's a way to take a break. If you never give yourself an easy way to take a break, if you never allow yourself to be fueled by passion instead of pain, you'll always turn to that self-sabotage. And so if we look at self-sabotage as misguided self-love, what it allows us to do is, first of all, we have a little more compassion for ourselves. We can be a little easier on ourselves. And we can take a step back and begin to look closer to understand what's really going on below the surface. Your subconscious mind has one focus, which is to keep you safe. All it wants is safety. And what's safe? Certainty, what's familiar, staying the same. Sometimes being stuck and miserable feels safer than getting focused and moving forward. Everything is about safety. And so I look at my purpose and my passion is to help other people's hearts know that it's safe to change. If you feel safe to dive into something and to commit, you're better able to do that. And so we have to take a step back and look at what are some of the beliefs that may be keeping us stuck and frozen. How can we begin to feel more ease and more safety around taking a chance? Because focus and discipline is about taking a chance. It's about diving in. It's about trying something new. It's about commitment. And that can seem very scary. So a great question to ask yourself in order to look below the surface is, what's the downside of being focused and getting this done? And usually when I ask someone, they're like, no, there is no downside. This is all I want. All I want is to have more energy, more focus, and to get it done. But when we really slow down and we look at that self-sabotage, we look at the times where we know what to do, but we just aren't doing it, we might reveal and discover some limiting beliefs. So from working with thousands of people through using tapping, some common beliefs are, if I really focus and get disciplined, it means that I won't have time for my family. Now, this community, that's not how we roll. We know that this isn't just about achievement, that this is about quality of life. Brendan makes that clear. But there is something different between logically knowing something and your body knowing it and truly believing it. Sometimes we tell ourselves something, but we still feel that fear in our body. We can be so positive, we can say all the right things, but we have that tightness in our chest when we want to start. We have that fear in the pit of our stomach. And this is why I love tapping, because it is a tool that uses the mind and body. It's about helping the mind and body be congruent so you can move forward with more ease. Because when you have a negative thought, It's not an experience that you just have in your mind. Like I said, you're feeling it with your whole body. So it's important to address the physical aspect of those beliefs. So some common beliefs, like I said, one is if I'm disciplined and focused, I won't have time for my family. I worked with a client once when she looked at her procrastination and she said, if I never get it done, it'll never be criticized. Think about that. If you never fully focus and get something completed, then you can't fail because you're always in that limbo. And so we have to feel some safety to focus, to try, and to fail, and to be disappointed. We have to be okay with making mistakes to have the courage to move forward. What's another one? What's the downside of getting focused? The downside is if it doesn't work out, then it proves that I'm not good enough, right? So you want to get clear on what are some of those fears underneath it. Another example, I worked with a client once who she remembered that when she was a kid, she really got focused. She studied for this test and she got an amazing grade. And she ran home and she couldn't wait to tell her mom. She told her mom and her mom said, hush, you're going to make your sister upset, because her sister was struggling in school. And so suddenly she creates this belief that my success makes other people feel bad. And so she was always sabotaging herself and stopping herself. If you have a community of friends who always complain about finances or their weight or whatever it is, and suddenly you achieve that thing, will you then feel left out, like you don't belong anymore? Now, I'm giving you these examples so that you can begin to explore and simply reflect. Maybe something comes up, maybe it doesn't. But the key here is to give ourselves an opportunity to realize, what are some of the beliefs that are keeping me stuck, that are keeping me playing small, that are keeping me from focusing?
Did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the word goodbye? Though it took some time to survive you, I'm better on the other side. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Don't stop now. I'm not where you left me at all.
Good morning, guys. Today in our top 10 rules for success journey, Robert Kiyosaki shares his 10th rule, which stands out for me, and that is don't save money, hedge it. So what does that mean? So all of us have a tendency to want to save money. We view that, or most of us view that as the path to attaining monetary wealth. He asks us to reverse it. So we have to think of hedging it. What does that mean? That means for him, when he's investing, he puts what he calls a stop loss. So when it gets to a certain point where his asset's not making money, he'll stop it. So I want us to apply this in our life. I view us as human investment machines in the decision making we make. So when you make a decision today, think about the positive return on it. If it doesn't provide any positive return, or there's no hope for it, then don't make that decision. Make a different one. I hope this helps everybody. Have a great day. Good morning.
I advise students, as much as possible, look for the job that you would take if you didn't need a job. Don't sleepwalk through life. Don't say it's all going to be great. I'll do this and I'll do that. I've told people that's like saving up sex for your old age. It is not a good idea. You really want to be doing what you love doing. And you can't necessarily find it on your first job. Right. But don't give up before you find it.
There was one concept that I would suggest to people to take a daily confrontation with is fear. The problem with fear is that it lies. Fear tells you, hey, you know, if you say that to that girl, she's gonna know she has you and she'll never really be attracted to you if she knows how much you attracted to her. Don't say that, no. How we get her is when she walks by, ignore her. So for me, the daily confrontation with fear has become a real practice for me.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because in my first business, I struggled to believe in myself. I quit on my business partner. And the thing that saved me was watching the successful stories of entrepreneurs. They gave me the inspiration to keep going, as well as the strategies of what to do. And quite honestly, I still need their stories and motivation today as well. So today, let's live your best believe life and learn the 5 lessons that people learn too late in life. Enjoy.
I went skydiving in Dubai, right? And skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear, right? So I gotta stand up. I'm sorry, I gotta stand up. All right, so all your friends, what happens, you go out, I dropped my thing. So what happens is you go out the night before and you take a drink with your friends and somebody says, yeah, we should go skydiving tomorrow. And you go, yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow, yeah, and you go, yeah, and everybody goes, yeah, right? And you go home and you by yourself, you're like, right? You're like, well, I mean, they was drunk too. Right, so maybe they not, maybe, I mean, we don't have to go, we don't have to do it. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified, you keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane and you can't figure out why you would do that, right? And you're laying there and you have the worst night's sleep of your life, but you still have the hope that your friends were drunk, right? So you wake up the next day and you go, down and you say where you were going to meet and everybody's there. You're like, oh, shit. All right, cool. Right? So you get in the van and you don't know that your friends had the same night that you had because they're pretending like they didn't. They're like, yeah, man, my uncle's a Navy SEAL and, this is going to be great. I've been looking forward to this. And you're like, oh, my God. And your stomach is terrible. You can't eat and everything, but you don't want to be the only punk who doesn't jump out of this airplane. So you get there and then you have the safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys will tell you, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is what could happen? That the chute wouldn't open, right? So you do a thing, and what you do is your first jump, you're attached to a guy who is going, he's going to walk you out. So you go, and you get there, and there's an airplane, and nobody's stopping. Everybody's still going. So you get onto the airplane and you're sitting there and it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger. You're sitting on his lap and it's like, you're trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. So you be jumping with people all the time, huh? right? You know, so, and then you just want to make sure, you got kids, right? You got people you need to see, right? You just want to make sure he's serious, right? So you get in there, so everything's normal. So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet, and you notice there's a light. It's red and it's yellow and green, right? So right now the light's red. So then you start thinking at some point the light's going to go green, but you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you wait and it goes yellow and the light goes green and somebody opens the door, and in that moment you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Right? Terror. Oh, sorry, I'm spitting. Oh, sorry. No, terror, right? So you go, and then, you know, if you were smart, you sat in the back so you don't go first, right? And then people start going out of the airplane. And you go, and the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death. And they say, on 3. And they say, 1, 2, and he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3, right? Right? And you go, and you fall out of the airplane, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying, right? It doesn't feel like falling, right? It's like you actually are kind of held a little bit by the wind, and then you start falling, and there's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. It's bliss. It's bliss, and you're flying, right? And you're doing that, and then 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 40 seconds, and you have enough time to just kind of be like, oh, shit, that's that building. I like that one. Oh, you can see the ocean, right? You start doing all of that, and the lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Lesson number 3, stop complaining.
What if I told you this was the last Monday morning of your life? What if I told you die this week? Would you complain about your crap job or that test you don't want to take? I doubt it. You would go much higher level thinking. Well, that's really what it takes. It takes understanding that if you're not pumped right now, if you're begrudging what you're about to do, if you're not looking forward to it, look, I respect practicality. You gotta go through school because your parents want to. You gotta pay your rent. You got student loans. I get it. But please recognize the world we're living in. We're living in a world where there's so much more opportunity. This internet thing created way more opportunity for all of us. Way more. I mean, look, you might not even be alive. Like, your mom and dad could have had sex like 3 minutes later and you wouldn't even exist, and you're complaining. You could have ended up being a bus, a tree. I just don't get the mentality of being head down sad on a Monday morning. I'm gonna make Monday morning my I'm gonna make you Saturday, Monday morning. That's what I want to do every morning, and that's what I want from you. Please take a step back and think about how awesome it actually is. And then recognize that you can attack the world in a totally different way because you were lucky enough to be born during this era.
Lesson number 4, know your destination.
Imagine we're standing in a big empty room, right? And we're standing in one corner and I give you a simple instruction. I want you to go to that corner in a straight line, right? Off you go, no big deal, right? Without telling you, I slip a chair in front of you. What do? You go around the chair. Now you just disobeyed what I told you to do. I told you to go to that corner straight line. But this is the amazing things about human beings, which is when we're given a clear destination, we use our own creativity and our own sense of innovation and our own problem-solving abilities to overcome obstacles to get to the destination. In other words, the destination is more important than the route, right? We're flexible about the route. We're obsessed with the destination. Reset. We're standing in the corner together and I give you a simple instruction. Go somewhere in this room in a straight line. And you say to me, well, where do you want me to go? I'm like, I don't know. You're smart. Figure it out. Go in a straight line. And so you pick a point and you start walking. And without telling you, I put a chair in front of you. And what do? You come to a grinding halt. And I say, what did you stop for? You go, well, you put a chair in front of me. Or you'll make a sudden turn and go in another direction, right? And this is the problem. It's the same obstacle. The difference is when you have a clear destination, the obstacles become easy to overcome. When you don't have a clear destination, you keep coming to a grinding halt. And what we do in our companies is we're counting the steps we're taking along the route, but we're never looking at the destination, right? So a company says, made $1 million this year, we were only planning on making 800,000. Like we took 10 steps, we're only planning on taking 8. Where are you going? No clue, right? We count the steps. And so the point is that people want to feel that the effort that they're exerting actually are moving somewhere. And so successful measurement, successful recognition is not just for the steps you take. It's not just for the effort. It's that the effort you exerted moved us closer to where we're trying to get to. And that get to should be some crazy ideal. My ideal is to live in a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning, inspired to go to work and fulfilled by the work that they do. And the couple of measurements that I use are if the book is selling, and by the way, people ask me, how many have you sold? I have no clue. I've never asked the publisher because I don't care. I really don't care how many I've sold. What I care about is the Amazon rankings and that those are going steady or up and not plummeting, because that means other people, right? Because I don't have a publicist, I don't have a marketing strategy on purpose. I didn't hire one of those companies to sell the book for me. And the reason is because I'm not interested in book sales. I'm interested in the spreading of an idea. And so I just use that as a metric to help me understand, am I sort of marching because the more I preach, is it resonating? And so you have a couple of these imperfect measurements that help you understand, are you going along the way? So it's not just great effort, look what you achieved, because that's what we're doing now. Right? Our goal is to increase top-line revenues by $50 million. For what reason? Right? Which is, we have to know the destination, and then we say, amazing. You took us that much closer. And if we go to the right, it's because we were overcoming an obstacle. If we hadn't gone to the right, we would have been stuck forever. Thank you. It's not always straight lines. It's not always straight lines. But it's in one direction. She's pulling the cane out.
And lesson number 5, enjoy life.
I'm not sure about that in the future I would dictate, I would be stupid. That's why I should retire early when I'm young. That is why I have a lot of things that I dream I want to do. I want to do philanthropy, I want to be a teacher, I want to go back to school, I want to do the environment. And the world is so wonderful. Why should I be the CEO of Alibaba all the time? I'm coming to this world not to work. I want to come to this world to enjoy my life. I don't want to die in my office. I want to die on the beaches.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you're different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So it's a special celebration if you put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below on this video. I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
To learn the 10 skills that will make you rich, check your video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
One of the things you would want to be sure to do is, whether you like it or not, get very comfortable, it may take a while, with public speaking, for example.
La vida me empezó a cambiar la noche que te conocí. Tenía poco que perder y la cosa sigue así. Yo con mi sostén a rayas y mi pelo a medio hacer. Pensaste todavía es un niño, pero ¿qué le voy a hacer? Es lo que andaba buscando, el doctor recomendando. Creí que estaba soñando, oh, oh, de que me andaba quejando. No sé qué estaba pensando. Voy para el cielo y voy pateando, oh, oh, me enamoré, me enamoré. Lo vi solito y me lancé, me enamoré, me enamoré. Mira qué cosa bonita, qué boca más redondita. Me gusta esa barbita. Y bailé hasta que me cansé, hasta que me cansé. Bailé y me enamoré. Nos enamoramos, un mojito, dos mojitos. Mira qué ojitos bonitos. Me quedo otro ratito. Contigo yo tendría 10 hijos. Empecemos por un par. Solamente te lo digo por si quieres practicar. Lo único que estoy diciendo, vayámonos conociendo. Es lo que está proponiendo. Oh, oh, nos vamos entusiasmando. Todo nos va resultando. Qué bien lo estamos pasando. Oh, oh, me enamoré, me enamoré. Lo vi solito y me lancé. Me enamoré, me enamoramos. Mira qué cosa bonita, qué boca más redondita. Me gusta esa barbita. Y bailé hasta que me cansé, hasta que me cansé. Bailé, me enamoré. Nos enamoramos, un mojito, dos mojitos. Mira qué ojitos bonitos. Me quedo otro ratito. Nunca creí que fuera así. ¿Cómo te fijarías en mí? Toda la noche lo pensé. Este pa' mí o pa' más nadie. 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 Me enamoré, me enamoré. Lo vi solito y me lancé. Me enamoré, me enamoramos. Mira qué cosa bonita, qué boca más redondita. Me gusta esa barbita. Y bailé hasta que me cansé, hasta que me cansé. Bailé, me enamoré. Nos enamoramos, un mojito, dos mojitos. Mira qué ojitos bonitos. Me quedo otro ratito. Nunca creí que fuera así. ¿Cómo te fijarías en mí? Toda la noche lo pensé. Este pa' mí o pa' más nadie. Pa' mí o pa' más nadie. Pa' mí o pa' más nadie. Pa' mí o pa' más nadie.
Waiting for the cross and it was Gale! What about that from Gareth Bale? Off the bench with a fabulous finish. Real Madrid 2, Liverpool 1, a classic Champions League final goal from Gareth Bale.
Good morning, guys. One of the things that I laugh about now when I look back on my path and my journey to personal growth and development is some of the things I was trying to do with the people that I love most, especially my wife, my kids. So when I first read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and then I read all the other books that helped me realize the power within our minds and how I could use this to help other people, I was excited. And first thing, naturally, we want to help the people around us. But I realize now that there is no way you're going to help anybody unless they want to be helped. So, but it was funny when I look back, because I would be sending links, videos, I would be reading, sharing, talking about everything I was reading. And when I look back, you know, the people around me, they didn't care. They didn't think anything of it. For me, it was like I'd cracked the code and realized, wow, we're so powerful. And I want to help share this with everybody, people I love most. But it's not going to happen. Unless people are open-minded and ready for it, it's not going to happen. And now I can laugh at it.
The mind is a beast. Attention is a beast. It is our most powerful tool, but it is very, very hard to wield. It is very hard to muscle your way through, right? Like one of the reasons we talk about it as mindfulness is you are minding the mind, right? You're just watching what's going on in the mind. If you were trying to control what's going on in the mind, you would get your ass kicked. The only way you can learn to control it is to kind of mind the mind over long stretches of time and try to train your brain into focus, right? Why? Because focus and attention is a riot. So peak performers understand this foundationally, and so they don't go at attention head on. Certainly they'll train mindfulness. Certainly they'll practice focus, but there's a lot of other things they do.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because in my first business, I struggled to believe in myself. I quit on my business partner. And the thing that saved me was watching the successful stories of entrepreneurs. They gave me the inspiration to keep going, as well as the strategies of what to do. And quite honestly, I still need their stories and motivation today as well. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Steven Kotler, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
If you really want peak performance, you need to be doing your hardest work during 90 to 120 minute blocks of uninterrupted concentration. Now, these are biological blocks of concentration. The brain is built to focus for about 90-minute blocks. In fact, that's the same reason we dream. REM sleep is 90-minute blocks. The brain tends to do the same thing over and over and over again. So these 90-minute blocks, that's sort of what we evolved to pay attention to for. Perhaps it's because when we discovered fruit trees that were really laden with fruit as we were wandering around the veldt, it took 90 minutes to find them and get them. Who knows what the evolutionary reason is, but that's what the research shows. So you got to learn, if you really want to maximize performance, we'll talk about all the reasons why. We'll come back to this idea again and again. 90 to 120 minutes. That's the wrestling match, right? To make it slightly worse, if you plan on doing something creative, what the research shows then is you may need as much as a 4-hour block of uninterrupted concentration. This is talked about in the entrepreneurial community as a maker's schedule versus a manager's schedule, right? A manager's schedule is broken up into 5-minute blocks of, I'm going to talk on the phone really quickly, and then I'm going to talk to this guy over here, and then I'm going to send an email and blah, blah, blah. That's the manager's schedule, right? And we all know that man or that woman and people who live their lives that way. The maker's schedule is huge blocks of periods for uninterrupted concentration, deep work, as Cal Newport likes to say, or deep focus.
Rule number 2 is practice gratitude.
I like to, at the end of my day or first thing in the morning, depending on how I'm feeling, I like to start my day with like a 5-minute gratitude practice, right? Everybody has a different one. Mm-hmm. I like to list 10 things I'm grateful for and just try to feel that gratitude a little bit, right? This is, by the way, about gratitude tunes the amygdala. That's what you're doing. Okay. So the amygdala we take in, according to Manfred Zimmerman, the guy who did the research, credit where credit is due, 11 million bits of information a second, right? Consciousness is about 2,000 outputs. So most of everything that's going on, it's either processed subconsciously or it's just tossed out, right? 11 million bits is way too much for the brain to deal with. It's got to sift, it's got to sort. Where does it go first? It goes to the amygdala. What does the amygdala look like for? Threats, danger, and opportunity. Is there anything new here? Can I sleep with it? Can I eat it? Do I have to run away from it, right? That's what the amygdala is doing. And it's biased because its survival is at stake towards negative information. So we have cognitive psychologists talk about the negativity bias. What it means is your brain will take in 6 to 9 bits of negative information for every positive bit that gets through, right? This is a real problem for creativity, because creativity is what happens when we take novel information that's coming in and combine it in a new way. And if there's too much fear in the way, right? So why did I say earlier, you got to do gratitude, mindfulness, or exercise every day? Because otherwise you're taking in too much negative information and not getting enough other stuff. The brain really does two things. It takes in negative information and it takes in stuff that will help you serve your goals, right? So if it's not grabbing that's scaring you, it's grabbing stuff that is helping you get what you want. That's the trade-off. So you're not doing gratitude because there's something wishy-washy, spiritual, whatever. You're doing gratitude because it's going to help you get more stuff. And gratitude works because the brain, this is why affirmations don't work and gratitude does. Brain's got a phenomenal built-in bullshit detector. So if you're working at Walmart and you look in the mirror every morning and go, I am a millionaire, your brain goes, you, man. No, you're not. You work at Walmart, right? I mean, and then it's totally demotivating. It's crushing you. Thank you. Right? Gratitude. I am really grateful that my legs work today and I can still talk, right? Yeah. Well, that's true, right? And so if I chalk off 10 of those that I'm really grateful about every day, my brain goes, oh, maybe it's not so scary here. Let's start grabbing stuff that we can use to get to our goals rather than stuff we're scared of. That's why you do gratitude. Mindfulness is basically the same reason. Works a little different, mechanisms a little different, but same thing.
Rule number 3 is focus on authenticity.
Authenticity is how we live. We have a story we tell about ourselves, and then there's how we live. One of the clearest things that we know in psychology and biology is the self is not a thing. It's not fixed. It's a process, right? We're always growing and becoming and whatever. And if the self is not a thing and it's a process, right? It's a moving target. You can never be authentic. You can only act authentically, because there's no one thing that authenticity is. It changes over time with who we are. Carl Rogers talked about it, though, the psychologist who's probably most credited with like this idea. He talks about congruence. And when he's talking about this, he's like, look, we all got a gut sense of who we are and we all got our brain sense of who we are. And when they don't match, we get a signal. There's an alarm bell. There's a gut-brain axis that tells you are not living properly. And one of the things I think is cool about COVID that people don't talk about a lot is that COVID broke a lot of us open. It made us live much more authentically. A lot of people just said, I don't want to go back to work. They're not saying, I don't want to. Work is tied to fulfillment. We all like to work. Right. They're saying, I need to do something that means something, that makes the world a better place, that's fulfilling, that is interesting, that grows me as an individual. And I want to do it on my terms. Yes. A little bit more, right? That is a move towards authenticity that could not have happened without like something massive and cathartic like COVID. And as a result, as you come through this, the person who comes out the other side, better, stronger, faster, and probably much more able to get into flow.
Rule number 4 is get into flow state.
Let's start with the definition. Scientific definition of flow is an optimal state of consciousness where we feel our best and perform our best. That doesn't get anybody very far, but that's the technical scientific definition. Flow refers to any of those moments of rapt attention and total absorption when you're so focused on what you're doing, so focused on the task at hand. For writers, so focused on the writing, everything else just starts to disappear. Action and awareness are going to start to merge. Sense of self, self-consciousness, bodily awareness is going to fade away, sometimes completely. Time is going to pass strangely. Occasionally, it'll slow down. You get that freeze frame effect when anybody's been in a car crash. More frequently for writers, it speeds up. You get so sucked into what you're doing, 4 hours go by, and you didn't even notice. And throughout all aspects of performance, both mental and physical, and mental includes creativity, learning, motivation, productivity, and 40 other skills. That's an exaggeration. 12 other skills. Go through the roof. So that's the sort of technical breakdown of flow. When scientists want to define flow, psychologists define it by 6 core characteristics. They say when you're in the state, how do you know you're in the state? There's complete concentration on the task at hand. There's this merger of action and awareness. Self vanishes, time passes strangely. And the two other things that we define it by is we don't experience peak performance on the inside. We feel a sense of control. Holy crap, my senses are doing things they don't normally do at like 6 a.m. on a Tuesday, right? And we also, the experience is autotelic, which is a fancy way of saying it's so damn fun and euphoric and addictive, you can't wait to get more of it. So, right, once writing starts becoming autotelic, it's an addiction. You have to do it every day. And that's sort of got to be the point. Otherwise, there's no way to have a career, I think, as a writer.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5 is hack your distraction.
There are always going to be days when you can't focus, right?
As we always begin, as everything begins. Through the power of our minds, controlling our breathing. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're here, in this moment, in the present, using your gift, the greatest gift you have, the now. I love you. I love you because we're all one. We can all stay in the present and be our true presence. Be the human being we were all born to be. Best today, this gym period, is the way we can do our best in everything and anything, including remaining deeply grateful and loving and kind to each other, helping each other learn, grow, helping each other win together. There's no greater joy than that. There's no greater happiness than that. That's the ultimate truth. You can feel it right now. You were born to win, to be happy, to be peaceful, to simply be your true great self, to enjoy fully this moment right now. And if you do that, over